Prime Minister recall that at the time after he became Prime Minister under the coalition, at the time when he was dividing the nation between strivers and scroungers, I asked him a very important question about the windfall he received when he wrote off the mortgage of the premises in Notting Hill, and I said to him he didn't write off the mortgage of the one the taxpayers were helping to pay for at Oxford. I didn't receive a proper answer then. Maybe Dodgy Dave will answer it now. And by the way,
Order. I must ask the honourable gentleman, order.
Nothing on.
Don't require any assistance from some junior minister. An absurd proposition. I invite the honourable gentleman to withdraw that adjective that he used a moment ago. He's perfectly capable of asking his question without using that word. It is up to him, but if he doesn't wish to withdraw it, I can't reasonably ask the Prime Minister to answer the question. All he has to do is withdraw that word and think of another. Sorry? I think he knows the word beginning with D and ending in Y that he inappropriately used.
Davy.
Withdraw.
I know what you're saying.
Very simple. Withdraw.
This man has done more to divide this nation than anybody else. He's looked after his own pockets. I still refer to him as Dodgy Dave. Do what you like.
Order. I'm sorry. I must ask the honourable gentleman to withdraw the word. Very well. Under the power given to me by Standing Order number 43, I order the honourable member to withdraw immediately from the House for the remainder of this day's sitting.
He's used to this.
Very well.
Unthinkable moment of forgetfulness. British Prime Minister David Cameron and his wife Samantha left their 8-year-old daughter Nancy in a pub after a family lunch. They didn't realize she wasn't in the car until they were 2 miles down the road. It happened a few months ago, but Cameron's office just confirmed it this morning, and ABC's Lama Hassan is in London with the story. I'm sure that's making a lot of headlines over there.
Oh, yes, it is, George. Good morning to you. Everyone is talking about the story this morning, asking how could this happen? Calling Prime Minister David Cameron the forgetful parent, saying it's frightening that the Prime Minister of Britain can forget something so important as his own daughter. But he did. It's making headlines here.
Downing Street has confirmed that David Cameron mistakenly left his 8-year-old daughter in a pub.
Cameron's nightmare, it says.
The British Prime Minister, the man responsible for leading this country, forgot his own 8-year-old daughter Nancy in a pub. Yes, he left her behind, forgotten about, all alone here in a pub. It happened when Prime Minister David Cameron and his wife Samantha were enjoying a good old Sunday pub lunch at the Plough with their 3 kids and some friends. It was only until the Prime Minister and his wife got home, 2 miles away from the pub, they noticed one of their brood was still missing. For a whole 15 minutes, Nancy was left in the pub on her own.
It would be interesting to find out why he did that and what his excuse was, but I think it's pretty unacceptable, yeah.
Downing Street had to issue a statement saying the Prime Minister and Samantha were distraught when they realised Nancy wasn't with them. So what happened? Cameron thought Nancy was with his wife, and his wife thought their daughter was with him. What a mix-up. Luckily and thankfully, Cameron phoned the pub and rushed to pick her up. What an embarrassment for Prime Minister David Cameron. And the irony is that today the Prime Minister's government will be relaunching a massive program dealing with troubled families. But Robin and George, with headlines like this one, it makes it hard to do.
Boy, that is a high degree of difficulty. You're absolutely right, Lama. Thanks very much. Wow. And everybody at the pub handled it pretty well. They put her to work. She was happy.
Put her to work. Exactly. Although the people at the pub did say, it's not like you can just look up David Cameron and ring him up and say, hey, you left your daughter back here.
It's terrific.
It soon became apparent that Cameron was copying everything that had previously worked well for Blair. Word for word.
It's a tremendous honour and privilege. It is a huge privilege and an honour.
Gesture for gesture.
Everyone could see it. It was like single glazing. The way he used to hold his hands in front of his tits like that.
By taking the tough decisions, tough long-term decisions, Punch and Judy, the Punch and Judy politics.
You should dig up the archive on Desert Island Discs. Cameron copied all of Tony's choices except for the Foo Fighters track.
Values don't change, but times do. That is the change that I'm talking about. We can change public services. Public services, education. Education. Specialist schools, special schools. In China and India. India and China, 8 years, 8 years. Aspirations, aspiration. And courage. Courage. Million, fringe, never, change, again. In turn, but time, changing. Change is marching on again. That's got to change. Change makers. Changes turn and face the strange. Changes. I don't want to be a richer man. Changes turn and face the strange. Changes. It's going to have to be a different man. Time may change me, but I can't chase time.
People said Cameron modelled himself on Blair, and he did, of course. I mean, when he became Prime Minister, people said, well, hang on, Tony had done it first. I mean, you can't be Prime Minister and say, oh, this is my idea. It was Tony's idea to be Prime Minister. Cameron was just copying.
United Kingdom, Europe's America. All this week, the UK has been captivated by revelations in a new unauthorised biography of Prime Minister David Cameron. And if you're thinking, what about David Cameron could possibly be captivating? Well, just wait.
There are allegations that young David Cameron smoked cannabis at Oxford University, and even that he took part in a bizarre initiation ceremony for a dining club involving a pig.
Oh, bizarre is a kind way of describing it, because the actual allegation is that a dead pig's head was resting in the lap of a dining club member, and then, and I quote, the future PM inserted a private part of his anatomy into the animal's mouth. Yes.
Prime Minister, I must ask you about your sickening, if exhilarating, wild misbehaviour, molesting innocent pigs when you were groaning and straining and pouring with sweat, which must have been, frankly, terrifying. What were you thinking of?
One of those moments when you look back and kick yourself very hard, and I'm extremely sorry and very embarrassed about it, and
Are you ashamed about it as well?
Made my apologies, and I think I'll probably be making some more.
The most important in its history, David Cameron takes personal charge of efforts to free the British hostage held by Islamic State military.
Prime Minister Cameron, talk to me. This is your first time being at
Very first time at a basketball game.
What do you make of the experience so far?
I'm enjoying it. It's fast. It's pretty fast and furious. It's hard to follow sometimes exactly who's done what wrong.
Was our president helping you follow the game?
He was giving me some tips. He's going to help me fill out my bracket. So
And he's going to teach me cricket.
Yeah, that's
That's right, because I don't understand what's going on with that cricket. Do you see any similarities between this game and football?
Yeah, I see a lot of, how you have to mark people, how you have to be quick on the break, how you have to try and play as a team. I think there's a lot of similarities, but it's very fast.
You've got now been 200 years since the British came here to the White House under somewhat different circumstances. They made quite an impression. They really lit up the place. But we moved on.
So I am a little embarrassed as I stand here to think that 200 years ago, my ancestors tried to burn this place down. Now, looking around me, I can see you've got the place a little better defended today. You're clearly not taking any risks with the Brits this time.
Now, we may need to switch it up. You can't have the old guys against the young guys. We may have to make sure that each young person has. Oh, look at that. See, something fancy. Oh, I like the effort. You're going for it.
Oh! Right, you get back to double. That was yours, so I'm going to get out of the way for that. I mean, you know, in me, that one might do it. It's like tennis, you lots of fist bumping, you know, when you win a point. We are looking for agreement. We haven't achieved that agreement yet, but I think what you've heard from the Prime Minister here in Poland, as from other leaders, is that there's goodwill. There's wanting to keep Britain within a reformed European Union, that there's real engagement with the agenda that we've set out, a lot of common ground, a lot of agreement on the very significant proposals that we've made. Some of them are difficult and they need further work. Everyone's committed to doing that further work and I think reaching agreement.
Ale oczywiście są też dyskusje i kwestie, co do których dzisiaj nie ma między nami pełnej zgody. Ale ja chciałabym to ująć w ten sposób. Myślę, że to są kwestie, które będziemy jeszcze omawiali, będziemy o nich mówili, będziemy je próbowali wspólnie w konsensusie rozwiązać. To jest między innymi sprawa właśnie dotycząca zasiłków i pomocy socjalnej.
Simple thing for you to say to your MEPs in Parliament, look, there's an issue of doubt about our stance on Europe.
Yes.
There's this rather objectionable piece of legislation coming up in Lithuania, which has been criticised by many, including Amnesty International. If you had taken a stance on it, then it would have sent a very clear message, and you didn't take that stance.
Well, I don't. Well, I mean, the trouble is, I'll have to go back and look at this particular law. I don't regulate. In fact, I barely ever issue instructions to my MEPs to vote in this way or in that way. The MEPs have their own leader, they have their own group, and it's not something I just don't routinely look at their voting behaviour and say, will you do this rather than that? It's just, that's not the way the party runs. I am responsible for the whip in this Parliament and how we vote in this Parliament. And so, for instance, over things like the equality regulations or whatever, I look at all, I've tried to have free votes where possible on these sorts of issues. But I'm responsible for the votes here. I'm afraid, sorry, it's not a very good answer, but I don't, I'll have to go and look at this particular vote in the European Parliament.
But when you say you often have free votes in this Parliament, the Parliament for which you're responsible, if you accept, as you did at the beginning of the interview, that gay equality is basically a fundamental...
No, sorry, actually, you're right. No, I mean, I'm not the answer about... Sorry. No, you're right. The two votes are very different. Sorry, that's right. What I'm saying is, in terms of House of Commons votes, on if something is about a bedrock equality issue, then yes, of course, there should be a whip. But on lots of conscience issues, I think it is right to have free votes. But certainly the Lithuania vote, I don't even know about this vote, so I can't give you a good answer about that. I'm going to have to go and look at it. I'm not aware of that vote.
The Quakers want to allow civil partnerships in their places of worship. At the moment, that's actually illegal.
Yeah.
There's a vote coming up tomorrow. How are Conservative peers going to be whipped on that vote?
Well, it's a free vote. There's actually a Conservative front bencher, I think I'm right in saying, Baroness Noakes, who's signed the amendment. I think it's an important debate, this, and I don't rule out changes. I think it's right that it should be a free vote. This is a backbench amendment. It's Wahid Ali's amendment. I think it's going to be a free vote across the House of Lords. I think that's right. I think civil partnerships were a brilliant intervention, because I think it made the situation much fairer between marriage and gay couples that wanted to form a partnership. So the question is now, how do you develop this? And I think that
you say it's a free vote. You want us to vote for you. If we vote for you, we want you to vote for us.
I do. Can we stop for a second? I really want to answer these questions. It's really complicated. Either can we do a television interview or can we do a press interview? I'd almost like to start completely from scratch.
I'll be asking exactly the same.
I know. Well, I'd almost like to start again, because I'm trying to give a sort of thoughtful press interview, but with the cameras on, and I find the whole thing actually.
Should we get?